Arps.com be the next success story. From the studio that brought you Sound of Freedom comes After Death.
What happens after you die?
A new cinematic experience that explores some of life's biggest questions with expert interviews and firsthand accounts.
I never felt alive and then dead. I felt alive and then more alive.
I heard a voice before I woke up. You still have a purpose on Earth.
After Death. In theaters October 27th. Get tickets now or pay it forward at angel.com/afterdeath.
5.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A brief shower possible this evening, especially late evening for St. Louis. That moves through, then we're dry overnight with a low 55. Turning mostly cloudy Thursday and a high of 68. Couple sprinkles possible, but a low chance. Mostly just a cooler and cloudy day. And then Friday we'll break out into some sunshine, a high of 71 with sunny skies. That's the latest First Alert 4 forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Hey folks, Tim Jones here. You know, these are very troubling, problematic, complicated times, right, to say the least. But if you are even thinking about selling your home, and I'm sure you've got a ton of questions about that in today's environment, I want you to call the experts, Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. 314-810-SOLD is the number you need to know. The Wallners will offer you a flexible commission plan tailored to your family's specific needs, not some cookie cutter model. It will always have a no obligation, no long-term commitment clause. Not happy, simply change your mind. It just becomes not a good time for you to sell your home. You can walk away, no questions asked. The Wallners, however, I want you to know they're selling 15 times more homes per year than your typical realtor. They will guarantee to obtain you an offer. They're a husband and wife team. They're fantastic. They are not just weekend warriors. This is what they do. They're experts in this industry. You also get that unique family perspective, not just that of one agent. Call the Wallners today, Rodney and Jen Wallner, for a free listing consultation. Sell your home with this top producing real estate team. Rodney and Jen Wallner, 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD.
The White House is lit blue tonight in solidarity with Israel.
News, analysis, opinion.
300,000 Israeli troops are now gathering.
This is a fight for Israel's survival.
1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. This hour of Jones and Arps brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
The more you remove voting from Election Day, the more opportunity you're offering for people to commit fraud.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I think the Democrats are so short-sighted in this tactic they have now to just cheat at any cost to win elections.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you.
What are we doing wrong here?
As a former leader in the House, I think you can put your finger on it. It's called leadership. We don't have it.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps.
That was within an hour or two of the bombing, before we knew anything. That statement was made. Now, you'd think that'd come from a member of Hamas, but it came from a member of our Congress. If that member of Congress wants to take responsibility for the protests that we now see in Beirut, good on you. In Jordan, in Oman, and in Egypt, this sort of leadership or failure of leadership has no place on Capitol Hill.
5:06 this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Welcome back to the Tim Jones and Chris Arp show. And again, that was Representative Tom Tillis, Republican from North Carolina, condemning squad member to leave support of Palestine on social media. Really looking forward to speaking with our next guest. On the line with us is Donna Jackson. She's Director of Membership Development for Project 21, my 21 member colleague. Donna, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you on. Donna, anyone, unless you've been living under a rock, you have been following the news in the Middle East, how it seems to be erupting. Maya Angelou had a famous saying that when somebody shows you who you are, believe them. And we're seeing that on college campuses and with BLM, Black Lives Matter response to the Hamas atrocities. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know why people didn't know that that was their attitude from the beginning. Obama actually, when he was president, gave the harshest sanctions against Israel than any other president in America. That sentiment has been going through the left for decades. And so it should be something that people realize that Black Lives Matter, a Marxist group, of course they're going to side with terrorists because they themselves are terrorists. This is not surprising. The squad has been very vocal from the time they got in office that they were anti-Israel. From the time you have BLM, who is a strong supporter of everything that the squad stands for. They want to destroy America. Who does that sound like? They also want to destroy the family, and they want nothing more than to micromanage the American this country. So nobody should be surprised. And you know what? The worst thing is they claim to stand for Black people. They have never done anything to support the Black community. They have never financed a scholarship. They've never put a kid through college. They've never worked to improve the educational system in poor and low-income communities. The only thing they want to do is sow division. So, of course, what they're seeing and what they experience with the Hamas, they actually are cheering them. They actually wish that was them.
Yeah.
They really do wish that they had thought of it. They wish that they were these people. But everything they've done has always been the destruction of the Western culture. And of course, Israel is at the center of it.
Donna, we're not really surprised that BLM is anti-Semitic. Their core philosophy is Marxism, which has a history of anti-Semitism. But one thing that's been really kind of surprising to me is where has been the Black church? Why haven't we seen statements from some of the major Black denominations denouncing Hamas and saying that as Christians, we stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters?
Well, they didn't do the same thing when you talked about systematic racism. They didn't do the same thing when it came to critical race theory. They didn't do the same thing when it came to transgenderism. So why on earth would they do it now? If they would have stood up from the very beginning, a lot of the attacks that you've seen on our American history, on the church, would have stopped. I mean, Marxism, at the center of Marxism, the ultimate oppressor is Christianity. The number one supporter of Israel is evangelical Christians. It shouldn't be surprising that our government and our media has been trying to make this jump that somehow Christianity is supporting or creating white supremacy. That's the same thing they're saying right now about Israel, that they're white supremacists, that they're destroying, they're destroying and creating all kinds of atrocities. Doesn't that sound familiar? So nobody should be surprised because unfortunately, the Black church has chosen being Black over their faith. And so that is what's more important to them. They're saying that this notion of socialism, of Marxism, supersedes the principles of the Bible. And most of the churches have actually gone so far from the basic principles of the Bible, a male and a female, a family, the creator, God, the creator. They've gone so far from that it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that they're in this situation where they're not coming out and standing up for Israel.
We're speaking with Donna Jackson, Director of Membership Development for Project 21. You know, Donna, wokeness has infected our culture, especially our university campuses. It's become, rampant. But does it give you a ray of hope that we have seen since the Hamas atrocities, that university presidents are standing up and condemning anti-Semitism, that a lot of these companies that have gone woke are rescinding job offers to students who protested and seem to be in support of Hamas? Is there a glimmer of hope in our society, Donna?
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of corporate America. I think that the university presidents are doing it, and they're reluctant to do it. I mean, they're taking so much time before they actually come out and immediately condemn it. And most of it is because they're losing financing. Donors are pulling up. But I think the most important thing is that we're seeing who these people really are. And everybody is witnessing that. That's the most important thing. During COVID, that's when parents were walking past their computers. That's when they found out that critical race theory was being taught, that people were talking about systematic racism and tearing down the American, the Constitution and American society. That's when we found out. It's the same now. It's during this horrendous war that people are seeing who the real enemies within our country are. And that's the most important thing that is shining light. They're still who they want to, they're still professing who they want to be. I mean, they always have this something. We condemn on both sides of the aisle. They always kind of still give that narrative like they're siding with this two-state nation. But the most important thing is the light is shined on who these people really are. And like you said in the beginning, when they show you who you are, believe them. But they've never, ever hidden it. We just pretended not to see it. Because the squad came out very early on against Israel. Hakeem Jeffries, I believe it's his uncle, Farrakhan, said that Jews should be terminated. I mean, all of these things were never hidden. People just pretended that they didn't see them. But I think that their real colors are showing now. And I hope that this will mean a shift in the way people actually look at these people and the power they give them. Because they have been backed. They've had a tremendous amount of support from very wealthy Jews. And the fact is that these people always hated them. And that's the same with Black people. Black people support the left on every issue. But who's the people that create the most destructive policies for Black Americans? The left.
Exactly. Donna, speaking of Black people, there was a sleepy little governor's election last week in Louisiana. And as you know, they have a runoff system. So usually no one gets over the 50%. So they have to have another election. But the Republican won outright, will be the next governor of Louisiana. When you look within that election, Black turnout was down significantly. And a lot of Democratic Party officials and operatives are very worried about that and think that could be a possible harbinger for 2024. Is the tide turning? Do you think that African Americans are giving the conservative movement a second look?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that more than anything else is they've actually come to the realization that the people that are hurting them are the people that they've kept in power for 60 years. And so that is a very, that's very encouraging, because what they realize is that they never intended to make sure they prosper. And so we have, I'm not supporting any candidate, but conservatives actually have a unique opportunity, because if they just go in and show policy by policy, they can win the minority vote on a large scale, because you have people in Chicago that are complaining about illegal immigration. You have people in New York, they're all crying about crime. And guess whose policies created that? The people that they put in power for decades.
Mm-hmm. Donna, you wrote a commentary back on October 10th for Project 21 with the title History Enlightens Us About Merit-Based Education Standards. I want you to talk about that. But before you do, I want to just comment that the picture on the article is George Washington Carver, who, of course, is the African-American scientist who created a whole lot of products out of the peanut, and he is a Missouri native. So just want to throw that in. So talk about your recent commentary on Project 21.
Yes. I think that this notion that Black people are incapable of competing is one that history doesn't play out. One of the things that I talk about is the fact that in Virginia, there's a case before the Supreme Court in which they lowered the standards in order to make this kind of racial mix. And it's always, elites decide, what it should, it should be this, it should be that, and this is going to create some kind of utopia. But the problem is that they don't actually adequately prepare students.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is, what I call is the industrial poverty complex they have. So they need to make sure that they have a constant influx of poor people. You do that by making sure kids don't read at a proficient level. They can't do math. You can basically take over their lives because you don't equip them to be able to take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of making sure the schools is not resources, because it's not that, making sure the kids actually pass the test, making sure teachers are focused not on building activists,
yes,
but they're focused on academics. And if you properly equip the students, then they can pass any test they need, and they can actually get into any college they need to. But they don't concentrate on that. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they don't is on purpose, because they make 85% of all the resources dedicated to poor people actually goes to the administrative state, doesn't go into the community. So it actually, what I call, feeds the Bobo class of the U.S. government. And so they need that influx of poor people. So they, in collusion with the teachers union, they make sure that kids are not adequately prepared. But as a prize, they'll carve out a few spots.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the universities, they'll carve out a few spots for minorities, and they're ill prepared, so they actually don't even finish anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we should be concentrating on. Think about Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And I love this because Michael Jordan actually did not make his high school basketball team. Now, if we would have made a carve out for him, we would have never heard of Michael Jordan. It was the motivator that he didn't make the basketball team to work harder, try harder. Basically, when you have people in high school and in college, you're preparing them to create innovation. You're preparing them to create resources and goods that helps not only their family, but all of society. But when you ill prepare people, they can't bring those products to market. George Washington Carver said, education is freedom. This was a man who was a slave, and I think that's important. Because if a slave can contribute more to the population growth of the world, because he created the crop rotation, which allowed crops to produce more efficiently. He created the peanut and the significance and soybean, which 94% of products, food products, are made from. He created those because he wanted to help, get this, poor blacks and poor white people. So he wasn't sitting there going just for one group or another. He wanted to help all people. Now, if a former slave can do that, how much more should we who are free be able to do? So I think that putting pressure on students to perform at a certain level would force them to do that.
We've been speaking with Donna Jackson, Director of Membership Development for Project 21. Donna, it is so great to talk to you as always. Thank you for your wisdom. Give the folks the website where they can read your commentaries and other great commentaries as well.
Yes, you can see our great work like yours.
Thank you.
At thenationalcenter.org.
And you want to give out that X,
Project 21.
and you want to give out that X or Twitter or whatever the heck they're calling it today, yours and Project 21.
Yes, Project 21, JACK 301 at yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I always feel just so because you hear people now when they talk about X, they always do the Prince disclaimer, formerly known as, and it's like, come on, let's just call it X.
We know it now.
Exactly.
We know it now.
It's not formerly known as. It's not Prince.
It's not formerly known. It's so sad that there's this bigotry of low expectation that somehow Black people are too stupid to perform at a certain level. And I hope that Black people don't ever buy into that philosophy.
Donna,
there's greatness in us, and we just have not been seeing it.
I agree with that, my friend, and that's a good note to end on. Project 21, Donna Jackson, Director of Membership and Development. They can be reached at nationalcenter.org/Project 21. Thanks, Donna.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Excellent. Can't wait to have you back again. You know, Joy, earlier we took a call about our callers, our listeners support $100 million going to Hamas, 2,000 troops going into the region. We had one call, so I'm going to assume that everyone out there is in agreement. $100 million should go to Palestine. So no calls on that, just one. So thank you for expressing yourself. If you do think that money should go or you don't, love to hear your thoughts. 314-912-1019. Love to hear from a new caller. If you got a new caller, if you're a new caller, Joey says he has a joke for you. So that is a thrill and an incentive there.
I got the joke book open and ready.
There you go. You're listening to the Tim Jones and Chris Arps show on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL.
Like us on Facebook at News Talk STL. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A brief shower possible this evening, especially late evening for St. Louis. That moves through, then we're dry overnight with a low 55. Turning mostly cloudy Thursday and a high of 68. Couple sprinkles possible, but a low chance. Mostly just a cooler and cloudy day. And then Friday we'll break out into some sunshine, a high of 71 with sunny skies. That's the latest First Alert 4 forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton.
Tim Jones here. I was just chatting with Chad Hansen the other day, and boy, does he have everything you need to clean up your homestead, all the area around it, your trees, your shrubs, your mulch needs, and more. Hansen's Tree Service, hansenstree.com, your one-stop shop for everything I just mentioned. What can Hansen's do to prepare your yard for late fall and especially early winter? How about taking care of any of those tree branches that are hanging over your home, your gutters, your deck, your porch? Take care of them now before Old Man Winter takes care of them for you. Yes, all residential tree services, commercial tree services as well, tree pruning. You got some trees with any problems, bugs, diseases, whatever. Chad Hansen, happy to come to the homestead and take care of those as well. Tree and stump removal, and so much more. Mulch, spruce up those mulch beds. That protects everything you've already got in the ground. A lot of those very important assets, your shrubs, your perennials, annuals, whatever you got, right? Get that organic mulch from Hanson's. You save not only on price, but time and convenience when you purchase it in bulk. Substantial volume discounts for that, free delivery to locations within the entire metro area. Like I said, give them a holler today. 636-379-1830. It's fall, y'all. Time to get Hanson's Tree out to your homestead. Hanson'sTree.com. Hanson'sTree.com.
Hi, Sean Long for STL Fenceworks. STL Fenceworks is proud and excited to install American-made aluminum and vinyl fence products, as well as American-made decking. For instance, STL Fenceworks has teamed up with Jareth Manufacturing. Jareth invented the aluminum fence industry over 50 years ago. The Jareth product is wholly sourced and manufactured in the U.S., and STL Fenceworks is the third largest Jareth customer in the world. STL Fenceworks is vinyl fencing also, and not just white. We partner with National Vinyl Products to provide you with tan, clay, gray, and variegated wood grain vinyl fence products too, all made in the U.S. Not to be forgotten, STL Fenceworks is maintenance-free decking. STL Fenceworks is the #1 distributor of Wolf Cellular PVC in the Midwest, proudly manufactured in the U.S. and voted #1 maintenance-free decking product in the United States. Let STL Fenceworks make your outdoor space magical. Visit stlfenceworks.com today and learn how we can make your backyard dreams into a reality. At STL Fenceworks, your satisfaction is our passion.
Freedom isn't just a word. It should be a way of life for all Missourians. Wouldn't it be wonderful to live in a state where you're free from excessive taxes, regulations, and corporate handouts, and free to send your children to the school of your choice? That's why we at the Show Me Institute put together our 2023 Missouri Blueprint, a roadmap on how the state can progress to a bright future. The blueprint covers policy ideas from taxes to government transparency, from education to healthcare, and more. Our vision is for Missouri to be a place where entrepreneurs can pursue their dreams. Parents are free to direct the education of their children, and a growing economy provides opportunities for all. Critical to achieving this vision is a government that understands the value of freedom in the lives and future of our people. Check out our 2023 Missouri Blueprint, moving Missouri forward at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Tony Colombo here with a great offer from Zero Res. Just mentioned the Colombo special when you book a cleaning in October, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129 plus $50 off an air duct cleaning. We've trusted Zero Res with our home for years, and 5,000 Google reviews with an average of 4.9 out of 5 says it all. Zero Res is the best when it comes to cleaning any surface in your home. Just remember to mention the Colombo special when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
This hour of Jones and Arps is brought to you by Stifel. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at Stifel.com. That's Stifel.com. For podcast articles and more, find us on NewsTalkSTL.com.
The best deal for America is Jim Jordan. I voted for Jim Jordan today. I'm going to vote for him tomorrow. The Democrats' worst nightmare would be a Speaker Jim Jordan. Republicans are always telling me it's so frustrating. The Democrats stick together. What unites Democrats in this town is spending money. They love to spend money. They spend more money than we take in every year. Jim Jordan would put a stop to that. They know it, and they're going to do everything they can to discredit him over the next 24 hours.
Welcome back to the Tim Jones and Chris Arps Show. It is 5:31. That is Chairman Comer saying yesterday that he was going to vote for Jim Jordan. Of course, Jim Jordan came up a little short, but he is right about one thing. Democrats in this Congress have been spending money like there's no tomorrow. President Biden said today that he was going to send $100 million to the Palestinians for humanitarian aid. I asked you guys to call in 314-912-1019. We've got a couple of folks online. Tanya's been holding on. Tanya, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for taking my call.
My pleasure.
Well, I've been listening to you guys for a long time now, and it's been a while since I've called, but I felt like you're asking for people to call.
I am. Did I sound like I was begging? I sound pathetic?
No, you sound shocked and saddened like I am. that there are Israel is not getting the support it needs. That we are literally funding pay to slay by sending under the guise of humanitarian aid to the PA. We're just funding more and more. And I being a Jewish person and a rare conservative Jew in this country, I'm just absolutely heartbroken to see, well, I mean, what I've already known was there for a long time, unfortunately, but to see it get to this level with this amount of support that is simply supporting ultimately Jewish genocide, and it just gets worse from there.
I got to ask you, that was very good. Pay to slay. Did you come up with that, or did you hear that somewhere else?
Oh, no, I heard that. That's actually quite, unfortunately, that's a common term. Looking at, if you read up on the Palestinian Authority and how they actually do fund terrorists and support their families after, if they've martyred themselves, if they've died for the cause, then these families get paid. And so it's actually kind of looked at in a good way, which is horrifying.
Tanya, as a Jewish American, I have to ask you the question that I get often as a African American Republican. Why do Jewish people vote for Democrats? And we see the type of people they have in their party, and sometimes they don't seem to have the strongest support for Israel, those in Congress that have Jewish descent.
Yeah, it's a great question. Sadly, it's very complicated because it connects to academics, the universities, how younger people have been taught the lie. Specifically, I mean, Jimmy Carter put out the lie about Israeli apartheid when that is not the truth. That is not what's going on. But ever since then, and I don't know. I think honestly, when you let in the idea of, yes, we must support abortion, if you can murder an innocent in the womb, where does it end? Can you really walk away from human life? And Israel's been trying to make peace with Palestine forever, but that's not what has ever been sought by this whole war. So I wish Jewish people would wake up, but we had capos in the Holocaust, and it is very scary to see how many people just don't see the truth of what's going on. I pray they'll wake up.
Tanya, I've got one more question for you, then I'll let you go. I didn't mean to turn you into a guest, but I wanted to get your opinion on these things. Do you think anytime soon we'll see conservative Jews and liberal Jews in the 1st District, Missouri's 1st Congressional District, come together and unite and force Cori Bush out?
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful question. I would sure hope so. I would hope that there's going to be enough awakening. What you're doing, speaking the truth, putting it out there, the news stories, covering it, honestly, is just what we need more of. I mean, you're doing an excellent job. I really thank you so much, Chris, for asking me these questions, because we have to wake people up, because as long as the other stories are pushed, people are just going to keep believing the other stories, and that's part of the main issue. And if we want to say goodbye to Cori Bush, I think we really need to change the tone of the narrative that is getting the most airplay.
I do have one more question for you, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
I live in University City, near an Orthodox area where I see a lot of Orthodox Jewish people on Friday and Saturday walking and everything. And after this Hamas terrorist attack happened, I think it was a holiday that Sunday, and I saw a lot of Orthodox people were out enjoying themselves out in the Jewish Community Center. As a Jewish person, with everything that's going on right now with Hamas and the Palestinians, are you fearful of walking around? Are you fearful of, because of your heritage?
Yes, I am fearful. I've been fearful for a long time. My husband and I actually left Colorado because of the Jew hate we were experiencing that was being ignored. And so if I was afraid several years ago, I am very afraid now. And it's a very scary time, because because so much of the anti-Jew sentiment has gained this great momentum with what this terrible thing going on. And I'm glad you brought up that it was a holiday, because I wasn't raised to know about all the Jewish holidays, but that was Simchat Torah was the holiday, the high holy day and it was on the Sabbath, and that celebrates the Torah and having the gift of the Torah. So it's supposed to be a joyous occasion, and that's why the timing of the Hamas attack on Israel was, it corresponded with that, as well as the 50-year anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. So that's really a lot of what's going on.
Tanya, where are you calling from?
I'm actually I'm north of Columbia, so outside of Moberly and Huntsville. So I'm in a little teeny town. And honestly, Chris, I don't even know if anybody who lives here knows that my husband and I are Jewish. It's so strange. Sometimes I feel like we're kind of incognito.
Well, that's the way it should be. It shouldn't matter, really. We're all Americans. We're all trying to have good lives. Why can't we live in peace and worship God the way that we feel fit? And even if we don't feel like worshiping them, do it in freedom. That's America, right?
Absolutely. I love living in a place where we could actually have our pro-Trump lawn sign out and not fear for our lives for that too. So, you can't wear your MAGA clothes in Colorado. Well, you can wear them here. Here, I'm not afraid to wear my pro-Israel T-shirt. So, and I do, and I get compliments on it. So I appreciate that.
You can wake up and know that your Trump sign is going to be there in the morning when you go to bed in your front yard.
We're going to be here in the morning too.
Exactly. Tanya, thank you so much for your time, and really enjoyed talking to you. And thank you for your insight. Hopefully audience enjoyed it as much as I did.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me those questions, Chris, and taking the time. I really appreciated that.
Thank you. Have a great day. Well, that was very insightful. I'm sure as a Jewish conservative person, she gets, as I said, the same question that I get often. How can Black people vote for Democrats? And I'm sure she is getting that question, as I am too. And Joey, I think she's on our 94.1 signal.
She sounded like, she was way out
there.
Way strong signal out there.
Way out there. I've said 94.1. I have gotten it halfway to Jefferson City, right at the Kingdom City point. Others have said they listen in Mexico. We also go up northeast, Hannibal area. So 94.1, if you are west of the Mississippi or north, that's your signal. And here in the St. Louis region, of course, is 101.9. So one segment left, Joy. Would like to hear more from our callers, 314-912-1019, especially callers that we haven't heard from before. Joy couldn't give Tanya a joke because she said she had called before, but it had been a while. So you could hear a good joke from Joy, 314-912-1019. Should we be sending $100 million to Palestinians? Is this pay to slay? As Tanya says, give us a call. You're listening to the Tim Jones and Chris Arps Show on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL.
Follow Chris Arps on Twitter at Chris_Arps.
Give it a night.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A brief shower possible this evening, especially late evening for St. Louis. That moves through, then we're dry overnight with a low 55. Turning mostly cloudy Thursday and a high of 68. Couple sprinkles possible, but a low chance. Mostly just a cooler and cloudy day. And then Friday we'll break out into some sunshine, a high of 71 with sunny skies. That's the latest First Alert 4 forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton.
The Vic Borselli Show.
Iran says time is up for Israel in the Israel-Hamas war. We'll see what our favorite Jew, Karen Cataline, has to say about that Thursday morning at 9:05.
Weekday mornings at 9
on News Talk STL.
Are your windows ready for winter? Are you ready for old man winter coming down, racing through the heartland? Well, if you're wondering if your windows are ready for winter or not, well, they're probably not. You should probably call our good friends at Window World because they are simply the best for less. They'll get in your homestead lickety split and fix you up just in time for the turn of the seasons. 314-993-1800 is how you can get a hold of Window World today. Why should you call them? Well, they're one of only 2 window companies in the entire country that carry the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Just over 20 years in the business, Window World has improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 70,000 of our neighbors and friends in the region. Incredibly durable windows, incredibly thermally efficient. If you already have Window World windows, they can get you set up with siding and entry doors as well. I'll tell you what, besides everything else I told you, number one thing to keep in mind, they have an incredible commitment to customer service. They're there from the beginning till the very end and long after. How do I know that? Well, because of that lifetime warranty that Window World has that covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor. Get started with the process today. It's really simple. 314-993-1800. Any questions, free in-home estimate. Give Window World a call. 314-993-1800. 314-993-1800. 24/7 at windowworld.com. That's windowworld.com.
Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Simplicity Wealth, LLC, a SEC registered investment advisor. Insurance, consulting, and education services offered through Serenity Wealth Management.
Are you or someone you know providing or managing care for a loved one today? Did you know there could be more cost-efficient solutions for funding long-term care, even those currently living in a skilled care facility today? Financial strategist and long-term care specialist Chris Cooper of Serenity Wealth Management can show you tax-efficient strategies available to help your family manage care concerns, whether planning for the future or managing care for a loved one today. Solutions exist to provide the financial peace of mind you deserve.
Hi, I'm Chris Cooper, and I'd love to send you a free copy of my new book, A CPA's Guide to Tax-Free Strategies for Long-Term Care. You'll learn about strategies to empower you and your family, protect your savings, and make sure your loved ones get the quality of care they deserve.
Request your free copy of Chris's book by visiting serenityltc.com. That's serenityltc.com.
Get ready for winter by making sure your family is warm and safe when the bone-chilling weather gets here. Mike Ferguson here for Anton's Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Energy Experts. Call them today to get your furnace tune-up. It's only $89, and it could save you hundreds or even thousands by preventing a breakdown. 314-338-3941 or antonshvac.com. Anton's installed our HVAC system, and we love it. Put their expertise and excellent customer service to work for you, just like they did for my house. antonshvac.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue. And after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions. And they even offer free estimates. So there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
This hour of Jones and Arps brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. Dropping truth bombs and making you think. It's the Tim Jones and Chris Arps Show.
What would it take to move you toward a position of saying, you know what, Senator Menendez, please step away?
Look, as I've said before, the Senate should have certain standards. And if you read the indictment, Senator Menendez has gone way, way below those standards.
So what is your hesitation of asking him to step down?
He has been way, way below those standards, and we'll see what happens after that.
I know, Senator. We all hear you saying that. We all hear what you're saying, but we're just curious about why. If by your own admission, he's gone way, way below the standards. Why wouldn't you just say, you know what, Bob? I think of you as a colleague and a friend, but now is the time you got to go. I'm just curious about what your hesitation is.
I've had some serious discussions with him,
which are ongoing.
As I said, I've had some serious discussions with him. Yes.
Okay. You clearly don't want to discuss it.
Welcome back to the Tim Jones and Chris Arps show. It is 5:47. Look, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer there from New York is probably not used to getting hard questions. So I'm sure after that interview was over, a lot of WTFs and F-bombs were thrown around with him being questioned like that. And it's fairly easy question. I mean, if a fellow senator in your caucus who has a history of ethical issues, he beat a rap about 5 years ago, a bribery rap. Senator Menendez had $500,000 in cash and gold bars sewed into his suit. Chuck Schumer said he has crossed way over the line. He wasn't specific with that. I guess he is agreeing what's in the indictment there. He's afraid to say it's time to go. Really interesting. Indicted Senator Bob Menendez. He's not able to attend a classified briefing for senators on Israel. He was the chairman of the Intelligence Committee. He's one of the 5 members that whenever there's an emergency or some type of security issue, he is one of the 5 members that is involved with that. He was removed from his position. He is accused, of course, of now they've upped the ante, and now they're accusing him of being a foreign agent for Egypt. The long story of the indictment is apparently a constituent of Senator Menendez through the Egyptian government wanted to get some type of special permits in order for them to certify meat as halal, something like that. And he was doing what he could to help the Egyptian government. Now, it's very interesting to me, Joey, that that these charges were updated last week. The charges were just, bribery and, all the things associated with that. And now this week they are up the charge. Last week they upped the charges to the senator, and these are very serious charges here. They are accusing him of being a foreign agent for Egypt and not registering as that. And of course, no senator can be a foreign agent for any government. So this looks really bad. But I think this second charge has come because Senator Menendez has been so obstinate and refuses to step down. I think 30 of his Senate colleague Democrats have said that he needs to resign. His fellow New Jersey Senator Cory Booker has said that he needs to resign. The highly esteemed and honorable John Fetterman, Joey, said that Menendez needs to resign. So when Lurch says it's time to go, I think you really should step back and evaluate your future. What do you think?
Yeah, if he tried to sew some gold bars into his sweatpants, they would just fall right down. It'd be terrible to see.
So I think because he was obstinate and wouldn't step down, I think that's why the Justice Department did this new indictment, superseding indictment, I think they call it, and up the charges. And I think more than anything, this is something to get Senator Menendez to resign. Now, what we've seen in a lot of these scandals, including Governor Greitens here in Missouri and other politicians that are under fire, where it looks like they've done what they've probably done and the government or the prosecuting authority has the goods on them, there's a lot of times these politicians will not resign because that's what gives them leverage to get a lighter sentence or to get a better deal. And so maybe that's what Menendez is trying to do to stay in there. Of course, he is saying publicly that he didn't do anything wrong. And, once he goes to court, this will all be proven as just some misunderstanding that everybody sews gold bars into their suits and keeps $500,000 in cash, especially if you have family that is from Cuba. And that was his excuse because in Cuba confiscated money. I guess he's been a little leery about that, even though he never lived in Cuba. His grandparents immigrated, but I guess that fear of the government confiscating your money, I guess that somehow gets into your DNA. and transfers over to the United States. Well, Bob Menendez is a complete disgrace. He is as crooked as a dog's hind leg, and you would think anybody that got away with bribery the first time, that you would, go and try to fly straight and make money legitimately. And you know some people, when they get away with something big like that, they feel empowered and feel that they can get away with anything. And that's apparently what's happened with Menendez and his wife. We talked about a couple weeks ago that story took a strange turn, the bribery scandal of Menendez. He and his wife have both been arrested for bribery. But we learned a week or two ago that his wife, girlfriend at the time, hit somebody, a pedestrian, and killed them. And one of the people that was allegedly bribing Senator Menendez bought his girlfriend, now wife, a brand new convertible Mercedes after she totaled hers after hitting the pedestrian. So this is getting just swarmy and seamy, and it gets even worse. And now these charges have been upgraded, or that now calling him a foreign agent. Bob Menendez should do, not because I'm a Republican, he's a Democrat and all of that, but just for the good of the institution and the institution of Congress right now. The approval of it is at all-time new lows. We can't even get a speaker nominated and elected. So Congress's perception with the public is not very high right now, and Senator Bob Menendez should really just step aside and let the next gangster become the senator of New Jersey, because they have a history of this. Joey, there was another senator before him. I can't think of his name. It was an Italian fellow. He had to resign for the Senate because he was receiving suits and Rolex watches and things of that nature, doing favors for people. So we all know, when you think of corruption, you think of New Jersey, you think of Chicago. I didn't know this till later when I started getting involved in these politics. Oklahoma, they've cleaned it up some, but Oklahoma was kind of the wild, wild west when it came to politics. Very, very corrupt. And another state that you think of course, when it comes to corruption, is Louisiana. Those are probably your three areas: Chicago, New Jersey, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Blackjack, Missouri. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But those are your top areas. Joe, we got a couple of minutes left. What's going on in the entertainment world, sir? What should I go see? My wife's out of town for the next couple of days. What should I go see to entertain myself?
Well, tomorrow we are going to go to Family Arena.
Oh, okay.
Because Bachman Turner
BTO.
Yes.
And we were giving away tickets to that.
Of course. And I don't know if you're a fan of Grand Funk Railroad.
Oh yeah, GFO.
But they're the opener, or a version of them is opening. So that's like so many hits. That's at least 15, 20 songs you'd know if you went to Family Arena tomorrow night.
Joe, I want to ask you something. Is a band still the same band if there's like one original member left, but all the others are just replacements? Is that, like the Temptations? There's one left, and they've recycled a bunch of people. When you go to the show, is that the Temptations?
I think it dictates how much I'll pay for a show. Because if they sound good, that's still fun. That's a fun night out. Like
Journey, isn't there like two original members in Journey? Is that really Journey?
If you want to see just the lead singer, I think that could count.
Yeah.
But if you want to just hear the music the way you remember it from the album, that could also be worth it. I saw Foreigner, and I know that's very few of the original members, but they sounded like Foreigner. And it was at Riverport. So it was just a great night out. They had a great set. The guy was floating above the audience.
Oh, wow.
So it's still a show to enjoy, even if it's not the original people that you grew up with.
So when in the set did they get to Cold as Ice?
That's near the end to keep you waiting, man.
That takes me back to my late 70s childhood of going to Aloha skating rink up in North County on Friday nights. And Foghat and Foreigner and Dust in the Wind, Kansas. Those were all
I saw Kansas
songs.
at the Fox with my girl's dad.
They're the same way though, aren't there? There's like one member, right, of Kansas, or there's not.
they sound really good. That's really what matters.
That is all that matters. Joey, great show today. My partner, Tim Jones, will be back tomorrow. You want to stay tuned to Larry Connors USA. Today, Larry talks about Biden calling out anti-Semitism, but not from anti-Semitic Dems. He'll talk about the U.S. and Israeli intel failures on Hamas. And Larry will talk with former campus radicals are now teaching your kids. That's Larry Connors USA. Up next, 6 to 8. You have been listening to the Tim Jones and Chris Arps show on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL. Drive safe.
Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Beautiful lady.
John Michael Montgomery. Live. The multiple Grammy, CMA, and ACM award winner. John Michael Montgomery with McBride and the Ride this Friday night at the Family Arena. Reserved seats are on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. John Michael Montgomery, live in concert.
'Cause you're my special thing.
Ruben Studdard and Clay Agent. 20, the tour. Reunited 2 decades after their storied run on American Idol. Ruben and Clay. Friday, October 27th at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or at